How's it going, guys? I'm here to review Netflix's Fear Street Part 3, 1666.
We can end the curse. For Shady said. What the hell?
You see it now.
Sarah!
So this movie explains the origin of Sarah Fear and the origin of the curse, the origin of the mayhem, the carnage of how this whole curse even started. So this movie goes deep into the lore of the actual town, and it goes deep with the Sarah Fear character. It explains the origin of how she was accused and how she was sentenced to death. It goes deep with her relationships with certain characters in the town, and yeah, there's twists in this movie for sure. There's a twist. It was revealed that it was not Sarah Fear who was responsible for this evil curse, but there is another character that is responsible for getting her, for playing the card of getting her sentenced to death. And pretty much there's a family tree going on that's been responsible for all the murders and all the supernatural stuff that's been going on in this town. And Sarah Fear was just the person that was trying to prevent that, but she was wrongly accused, and that's how she got sentenced to death. So the twist is it was not her, but it was someone else. And I'm not going to tell you who that person is. You guys watch it for yourselves. And this movie is the longest one in the trilogy. This movie's 2 hours. The other ones were roughly around 1 hour and 40 minutes, but this one's 20 more extra minutes, so 2 hours. It's the longest one in the trilogy. It gives you enough explanation and details so it can tie up loose ends and wrap up whatever that's left. It does, after the origin, it has 1 hour of just 1666, and then the last hour goes back to 1994 and to wrap that story up too as well, which is really nice. It just goes back to the old Salem witch trials, or the witch hunts type of era. It explains you who got possessed first, how the curse started, and how Sarah Fear was wrongly accused, like I said. So this is pretty much an authentic, old English folklore, type of tale of how a witch got accused. And it kind of reminds me of that movie, The Witch, which is a really good movie. If you guys haven't seen it, it's really good.
The devil has come to feast on our misdeeds. And his darkness grows within each of us.
So what did I think about this movie? This movie's probably my least favorite in the whole trilogy. I do like 1994 and 1978. It's by far the best one in the trilogy because, like I said in the last review, I love the old authentic slasher vibes, and 1994 worked well for its own. It had a 90s aesthetic to it. The soundtrack was great. It had that Goosebumps type mixed with Scream feel. But in this movie, this movie reminded me of The Witch. There are some scenes in this movie that are genuinely creepy, the pastor. The pastor was the first one to be possessed by the evil force, and the first one to be the killer for that evil force. So, especially the way, how they did the special effect, or the makeup on him, basically he has no eyes. That was pretty creepy, where he's in the church with all these dead people. So that scene was pretty creepy. The acting in this movie is good. The story is pretty good, but once you get to the twist, and I'm not gonna tell you what the twist, it kind of questions, it kind of retcons, it kind of breaks its own rules in a way if you go back to the other movies. But yeah, and I guess this is the one that has the least carnage count. This one obviously is 1666. It doesn't have enough songs, the soundtrack. I mean, it does in the last hour because it goes back to 1994. But yeah, it doesn't have enough of a soundtrack. It doesn't have enough of a carnage count or a kill count. So really, there's really not that much gore compared to the second one, especially. So not that many kills in this movie. It's giving you a political agenda in this movie. It's pretty obvious. Nothing against that. It's just sometimes movies, in my opinion, are just better when they don't show too much in your face of the political agenda. But this movie still works out fine. I still enjoyed it. It's just it's my least favorite out of the trilogy. Another thing I didn't really like about this movie was the cast that plays the old town people. I feel like they should have just gotten another brand new cast, because I don't know if they just ran out of budget or Netflix just wanted them to do that, or it was the director's choice to do that, his vision. But I don't know, like, I feel like instead of reusing the same actors and actresses to play these different characters or these old town people, I feel like they just could have just cast an entirely different cast. But that's just my opinion. I don't know.
Sarah Fear, you know nothing good comes from those woods after sundown.
What was that?
So I would rate this movie a 6 out of 10. It was probably the weakest in the trilogy, in my opinion. There are some, I feel like I said, this is a pretty good end to a trilogy, but there's a lot of things where it totally goes against its own rules that it was created in the first two, when it comes to like the rituals, the blood, and the twist, and it just kind of breaks its own rules, in my opinion. It wasn't as scary as the first two. Like I said, it had that one scene with the pastor. That was a like genuinely creepy scene, but all the other scenes, it wasn't that like intriguing or scary. Of course, once you go back to 1994 in the last hour, it picks things up a little bit. Like, it gets more amped up, but still, it's probably like my least favorite in the whole trilogy. So that was my quick review of Fear Street Part 3, 1666. It was a good origin story of Sarah Fear. The time period was authentically good. It was interesting. The lore behind the town and the character itself, or herself, was interesting. But like I said, the first two is better, and then especially the second one. The second one's probably my favorite. So that was, yeah. Like I said, that was my quick review of the whole Fear Street trilogy. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I enjoy the series for what it is. It's pretty damn good. It's probably one of the better things I've seen this year on Netflix, and this makes me want to go out there and find more Fear Street books published by R.L. Stine. So yeah, so I'll see you guys in the next one.
The truth will follow you forever.